Hey guys, how's it going? Let's talk about Last Shootout. Last Shootout is a 2021 Lionsgate film that has been released to limited theatres and released on demand on streaming platforms on December the 3rd, 2021. It will also be released on DVD and Blu-ray on the 7th of December 2021. As always, this is not a review. This is a British fan's retrospective thoughts and opinions on this film. I will keep this spoiler free, and then after reading a brief synopsis, I will give you my thoughts and opinions on this film. This film stars Brock Harris, Skylar Witt, David DeLuise, Jay Pickett, Michael Welsh, Bruce Dern, among others. This is a Western film directed by Michael Pfeiffer and written by Lee Martin. This film is referred to as a gritty, intense Western saga of love, betrayal, and revenge. So without further ado, let's talk about the synopsis of this film. After newlywed Jocelyn learns that her husband Jody had her father shot down, she flees from the Callahan Ranch in fear. She's rescued by gunman Billy Tyson, who safeguards her at a remote outpost. He staves off Jody's attempts to reclaim his bride, as the angry Callahans keep Billy, Jocelyn, and other captives at the outpost. An explosive showdown is inevitable. As you can probably tell by the synopsis, this film doesn't feature many locations. It's practically all filmed in one location, apart from the start of the film, which is filmed in a different location. It's a standoff, if there ever was one. There are situations in this film that some people may not like. The control over women, etc. Some of you may recognize the name Billy Tyson. There has been a character in a different series that is called Billy Tyson. I've got no idea if these characters are related or not, if it's just a coincidence. I didn't have enough time to do my research on that. So if you would like to do your research on that, that would be fine. And if you want to let me know in the comment section below, that would be really appreciated, guys. Skylar Witt plays Jocelyn, who is the female who runs away from the Callahans, and her husband Jody because of the murder of her father at the hands of the Callahan family. She is a beautiful young female, and of course the love interest of not only Jody from the Callahan family, she is of course the love interest of Billy Tyson. They immediately have a connection, even though he tries to avoid it. There is clearly an attraction between the two of them right from the moment that they actually meet in this film. But yeah, overall, guys, this was a very, very good film. Don't expect any sort of blockbuster type film here. This is, like I said, it's contained to one environment. They did well with the Western setting, etc. The storyline was okay. Of course, at the moment, like, people may have a lot of negative things to say about this. It's not going to be ranked high up there, but you know, over the years, this one will become one of those films, I'm sure. And I keep saying this about recent films, but this will become one of them films in the future that I'm sure that will be very good for TV reruns, etc. of this film. Personally, myself, I will say that it flowed very well. The action didn't really start until right at the end, and it was one of those one and done sort of fights or battles that it didn't get dragged out. They tried as best as they could to patch in certain things. There were certain elements of comedy in this film as well. Slightly out of place, if I'm perfectly honest. but it worked well. There were a few characters in this that were your quintessential sort of Western characters, hillbilly, cowboys, Indians, or an Indian, etc. They kind of left the door open for potentially another film based in this series. Although this film is, of course, called Last Shootout, so you don't expect there to be any more shootouts. But there were certain characters that weren't killed in the end of the film that were, let's just say, antagonists to the plot line. So there could be a future film where maybe the main characters have to come back because they're now going to have, obviously, roots and friendships in this area. So there's no reason why, unless they obviously can't return, why they wouldn't return. And obviously, because I can't give away any of the actual plot line to the film, you know, all I can do is mention that part of it. But yeah, Brock himself, who plays Billy Tyson, who is actually, that Billy Tyson name is a alias. He actually is somebody else. His name is really Billy, but his surname is something else. But yeah, he plays the character of Billy Tyson really well. There are a few familiar characters, sorry, not characters, but actors in this film. I already mentioned Skylar Witt. She will be in the Top Gun Maverick film that comes out next year. So yeah, she's looking like she's going to be somebody going forward. She's a beautiful girl. And I think that her future is very, very bright in Hollywood. They managed to get the legendary Western actor Bruce Dern in this film. He has been in multiple Western style films over the last 50 or so years, including some of the recent times most famous Western films, such as Django Unchained and The Hateful Eight. So, you know, he's a go-to actor for these types of films, I'm sure. The question that many of you that have stuck around at this point will be asking is, yes, but is this film actually watchable? And the answer to that question is a resounding yes. You may need to be in the right kind of mind to watch this, and I mean frame of mind, of course. It's one of those films, as I'm giving you some raw thoughts right now, that I can imagine a couple of beers, maybe a pizza, you just sit down and you've got nothing else going on and you think, you know what, let's have a look to see what this film is. I'm sure you would be able to sit through it. It's not one of those types of films where you need 2 or 3 times to sit through the film to watch it. I'm pretty sure that people would be able to, take in what is actually going on in this movie, regardless of people's preference or, you know, what kind of films that they like. If you don't like this kind of Western film, you're not going to like this film. But if you're into Western films and stuff like, you know, shootouts, you know what I'm on about, guys. This has got that classic Western. Damsel in distress, saved by the lawless cowboy. It's a story of revenge, as it says, love, and in the end, I can tell you that there is a nice moment at the end of this film. So, you know, if you're watching this film, then don't just think it's all doom and gloom, blood, guts, and gore, because it's not. It's a PG Western film, so it's definitely something for the family to sit down and watch as well. It's the type of film that you would watch with your grandparents, you know, while you're being watched if you're a young teenager, etc. Or you'd watch with your children if you are an adult has got children, that type of thing. But yeah, I'm going to give this film a 8 out of 10. Some may say that that's quite high. Potentially, with the fact that it is a lower budget film, I could have given it a lower rating, but I enjoyed this film myself, and I highly recommend this to anyone who knows that they like a Western setting to their type of film. Please like, share, subscribe, and stay tuned for more.